Hello and welcome to Monza, the location for this week's daily races, or race C, which I'll explain later. I've had a few goes in the qualifying sessions and I've made a time of 1:44.1 so far, which is enough to get me 10th in this race. The car we're driving is the Red Bull X2014 Junior. So this is obviously a little project between Red Bull and Gran Turismo to develop a little car. Now full starts are penalised and we've had a few movers already. That guy grays out, and as soon as I go to drive through him I bump in the back of him. So I don't know what happened, they actually rolled back a bit on the grid. A few drivers did full start, so how their penalties are enforced I don't actually know, because I can't see any around me with penalties, but here we go. There's no chicane in this version of Monza, so the first corner now is this sweeping right-hander, which can be taken at full throttle before heading down towards turn 2, the chicane, with heavy baking zone. And are we going to get it right with all this mess of people? A few people went off. I went deep, too deep. Tried to spin it, replaced me onto the track there, which has lost me a number of places. So yeah, the braking zone in that, when you're going at race speed, but you've got less downforce because there's cars in front of you. You're maybe going faster because there's cars in front of you. So all that just goes to hamper where you're braking. But I actually braked earlier and still it wasn't enough. But we're up 2 places already. As someone goes off, so we're back up to 12th now. Guy behind me served a penalty, which gives me a little bit of space to work with. But this being literally I've had about 3 or 4 laps in practice, so this car can be a bit tricky to drive. It's got loads and loads of grip, and I think it actually has more grip the faster you go, to a certain extent. So you're wanting to slow down, but sometimes slowing down actually forces you to spin off a little bit or lose traction. I think it's some virtual version of a ground effect car. You can see the whole gap there under the side pod, where there's virtually no side pod. I think that forces the wind down to help suck the car to the ground, which we might see in Formula 1 in a couple of years, ground effect cars coming back. But that's the idea, the principle behind it, I believe, and I believe this car is one of those. So obviously you can't take every corner flat out because of it. There's still laws of physics to run by. But so far, so good. We started in 10th. We lost a couple of places due to that first corner incident. How we're going to crack on in this 11-lap race. So going back to the start, I mentioned this is the daily race C. There are 3 types of daily races, and up to now, you've mainly seen me involved in daily race B's. A's being the shortest, usually the lowest class of car. The daily race B's are slightly longer, around 8 or 9 minutes that you've seen. And daily race C's, these ones now slightly longer again, and also involve some element of tyre wear or fuel depletion ratings. So we'll see how I go in this one. It's the first time I've done one of these. Obviously it's very similar in effect to the Nations Cup without the qualifying. As you can see, during all that explanation, I've actually dropped down to 15th. So I hope it gives you a bit of insight into the car or the track or even the races that are available. Yeah, the qualifying of this is the same as all the daily race B's, but the running of the race is a bit more like the Nations Cup with tyre wear and fuel depletion. So here we go. So I'm battling now for 15th. I've actually lost another place there now. I best stop waffling and actually concentrate on the race. Coming towards the end of lap 2. Someone's gone off ahead of me. As you can see there, now bang up to 14th because of whatever happened there. And a lap of 1:54.7, so still way off my qualifying time. And until I'm able to get some clean laps together, I doubt I ever will get that qualifying time. But who knows? Let's see, some slipstreaming up here. And this is what really hampers your knowledge of the braking points, because obviously with slipstream you're going faster, and with cars in front of you you've got less downforce, because it's the air going over your car that creates that downforce, so it really does hamper a braking point, which you've come to know from your solo laps in qualifying. Just mess about it all over the place. Obviously more cars, different cars, further down, closer to you, it all changes that braking point, as I'm finding out. My position is a bit haphazard at the moment. I mean, some of you might correct me, it might just be my lack of experience, but I'm assuming that's why you can do the same thing in 3 to 4 different laps and have completely different results. But here we go, so it's a little faster kind of chicane complex there at the end of the middle section, and heading down now towards the parabolica at the end of the lap. Starts off tight but then opens up. I mean, people are gaining on me before and during that corner, so I'm obviously not getting it quite right. There's obviously a faster route through there, but at the moment I haven't found it, and I'm losing maybe half a second or so around that one corner. But we've made our way up to 12 as we start the 4th lap. And I've got the guy from Spain right behind me. And one of the worst things to happen in this is, you know, you have your own braking spot, whether it's right or wrong, but you have got your braking spot which gets you through the corner. Now if someone else wants to brake later than you, and then, oh, as I messed that up again, you see, there we go, completely messed that up, hitting the curbs as well for good measure. And all that hard work of the last few laps undone again. But yeah, if someone's running right behind you at full speed and they want to brake after the point where you want to brake, we get a lot of that. We see a lot, especially when it's busy. Oh, there's one little wide there trying to overdrive a bit. Oh, someone else has gone off there, so there's a place immediately back. Yeah, we see a lot of rear end shunts into corners, especially tight corners after long runs, and especially when there's a lot of people running together or close together. So far I'm penalty free. I've done my bit. All I need now is to practice the lap, practice the track, and get some more consistency in my lap times. So coming on to parabolica, sorry, for the 4th time. On the way across the finish line, and let's see what this lap time is. Are we going on 1 year? Because I went off a couple of times of course, yeah, I forgot about that. So 154.6, so not a great track lap that time round. But with this chicane missing, which was again would have been another completely heavy braking zone at the end of the start finish straight, that same heavy braking zone has now moved up here to this chicane, which is probably slightly faster than the first chicane I would have thought, but again that's just me assuming. That very first one is very tight and very short, left and right. So I've had a chance to look up the circuit, as I should have done before I started commentating, so let's give you some of the corner names as we head into Ascari complex, turns 8. Well, it would have been 8, 9, 10 had it been on the track with the chicane, obviously with 2 corners shorter now, so that's actually 6, 7 and 8 in this track. Parabolica at the end of the lap on this variant of track without the chicane is turn 9. So I was lap 5, better, 47.2 again. As we cross the start line, that wasn't the finish line, that was the start line. Finish line is a little bit further back up the track. So this first corner of this track is the Curva Grande, and the names I remember from the Formula 1 watchings. It's just knowing which one was which, so I'm not always down with that. And this is the Variante chicane. And now we're coming up to the Lesmo corners, 6 and 7 in a full track, 4 and 5, turns 4 and 5 in this track. So the Lesmo, Curva de Lesmo, at the top of the track there. And now the very slight full speed left-hander here is Seraglio, Curva del Seraglio, and then back down to Ascari complex. So there we have it. Those are the track corners names. You probably recognise those. I'm sure a lot of you watch the sports on TV, the racing on TV. I think I knew all those names, but hadn't actually set to memory which corner was which, with the exception of the Parabolica, which is quite an obvious one down here. So, not concentrating on the race during that little bit of history for you, information for you. Let's see where I am. I'm half a second down. I've had half a second penalty for a track limit infringement, and I'm 4 places down on my starting place. But you know, I'm still amongst drivers, so we've still got opportunities. The livery you see me sporting today is from a PlayStation member called Mint Crisps. So thank you to him. His link or his ID is in the description below as always. If I've used someone's livery, I've tried doing liveries myself, but I haven't got the artistic temperament or even the really inkling to spend time doing them. So I usually go ahead and pick someone else's and link them to it and show them what I've done with their livery and tell them I'm using it, and they can watch the race if they want as well. So if you're watching, Mint Crisps, thanks very much for the livery. And there we go, there's my penalty zone served. Someone else ahead of me had one too. Has anybody come past me in that? In fact, I've actually got up to 13th there as well, so here I must have had a longer penalty. Come through Ascari once more. And this totally high speed circuit which suits these cars, and to be fair, it does suit my driving much more than the Nations Cup did. If you watched that from the weekend, last Nations Cup at Fuji International Speedway, the technical complex in that, together with the rear dependent heavy rear wheel drive cars that we were driving on that, just didn't suit my style at all, I'm afraid. I didn't do very good. If you want to go and watch that one, get a small number of points for the Nations Cup rankings. But yeah, these fast circuits are more, I mean, I'm still not the best, I've said it before, you know, there are people out there far better than me. We get raced against similar drivers, but the technical sections are what I'm slowly getting used to. It's these faster corners that I'm more at home with as we battle again. 13th, coming into the chicane on the 8th lap. To give up the line there as he pulled into the apex. But again, this is my first race here in this car. Ooh, there's someone. Oh, what the hell am I supposed to do with that? That driver had spun off, gone greyed out, but as he came back on the track, right across the track, he went solid again. I had nowhere at all to go. A bit of a disaster, but I'm quite sure what I'm supposed to do. Coming out that corner at full speed, find him in my way. Dear, dear, dear. So that's lost me a place or two. So and there someone must have dropped out now because I'm now 14th out of 40. We had 6 drivers drop out. There was 20 started this race. And now I'm 14th last of the 14 remaining. So some unfortunate events in this race. Not all of them my own doing. I've had a couple of late missed braking points into the chicane, but other than that, I've had a few collisions with other drivers through no fault of my own, hence why I've not had any penalties. Bit of experience, so if I try this race again. Still, I'm last. I could quite easily drop out as the others have done, but that's not in my nature, and I like to quit. And the more laps I do, as we've got 3 more left, 2 more after this one, it's all further experience with the track and the car. So I shall keep going, and you also never know what's around the next corner, as we've just found out. It could actually benefit me rather than hinder me, as it did that time. Again, this is a problem. I mean, see the grade out, that car perpendicular to the track should not have been in a solid state. He should have been greyed out. I can't believe he was greyed out when I first saw him, and then as I hesitated and decided to go for it, he was solid again. Oh dear, I'm overthinking it now. Nothing I can do. Nothing I can do about that, as I'm coming around setting the best time so far at that point in the track. And someone's gone off in front of me. Where are they? There he is. He's gone off and serving a penalty as well, so I was up a place. So up 1 place, 13th, starting 10th, remember, so I'm down 3 on my starting position, but I'm not last anymore. And can I finish this lap with the best time? 2. Let's have a look. Finish line is just under that bridge. Yes, 1:46.3. There's still a couple of seconds off my qualifying time. I've got to find that perfect rhythm to get close to that again and continue to improve it. Let's see in these last 2 laps if I can chase down Track Tack in front of me. Oh, no, it's not anymore. He's overtaken Oversteer 1. So Oversteer 1 is now in front of me as I set that best first sector. Oh, and go deep in the process into that chicane doing it. Oh dear, dear. So the guy behind me's closed up, but he's got a 1.5-second penalty of his own. It's usually more of a collision with a barrier or something than a track limits violation. So he's going to go another 2 seconds further back after serving that, which he'll do now. Bye bye. And it's looking like 13th. I said it before, in this replay camera you tend to watch, you don't get to see the timings. I don't know why it doesn't include the timings for the drivers in front and behind you. On the in-car camera, which I've used on occasion, it does show those timings, but not on this one, so I figured this was probably a better one for you to watch. There's a bit more variation in the camera than just the road ahead of me, but unfortunately it doesn't give you all the timings that you want. So, did we spot him at all down that back straight ahead of me, give an idea of how close he is? Let's have a look here. There he is. So he's maybe 4 or 5 seconds ahead, so yeah, I think I'm going to finish 13th in my first race here. In this race distance of somewhere between the daily race Bs that you've been used to seeing and the Nations Cup races of almost up to half an hour. Well, having said that, I think I did one in Japan, the East Outer Loop circuit. I think that was only just over 20 minutes in itself. So anyway, enough of that. Final lap. Can I go and have a decent lap to finish off with? We've had 2 in the 1:46s now. I just need 1 more to finish it. Just to solidify that kind of consistency at the end of the race. As the leaders have now finished, Side Pants, well done to him from the UK, and Tim 2606 and Slime UB, both from Germany, completing the top 3. Congratulations to you guys. Let's just hope I'm actually close enough to actually finish the race and cross the line. Usually gives you a certain amount of time to cross it after they've finished their race. As we head down to the Parabolica for the last time. And I'm thinking, no, we're not going to be close enough. I didn't actually watch the time of mine. 135, 136, 7. No, that's it. Race finished. It's given me a time of 146 for that last lap, although I didn't actually finish it. There we are, 12th. Oh, 12th. Didn't even see me make up the last place. But thanks for watching that. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's stick around and see if I do any better in race 2.